Back in 2014, I was the first researcher to be working on repurposing classical Byzantine fault tolerance and distributed computing techniques for the blockchain setting. I was the first guy to propose working sharding methods, and that work continued, and by now the Internet Computer has more than 1,000 person-years of R&D. The original aim of the Internet Computer project is to create a better back-end stack. That means a replacement for traditional IT, data centers, and cloud services. And that takes the form of a world computer. Ultimately, we focus on empowering people with technology. The Internet Computer is the product of more than 1,000 person-years of R&D. The technology gives developers superpowers and enables them to do completely new things, like build social networks that run entirely from a decentralized network, or create enterprise apps that are immune to cyber attacks and run with incredible resilience. The Internet Computer ecosystem is pretty unique in that it's very organic. We do give grants to developers, and I think we've given out about 400 to date, but they're not large compared to the financing in other ecosystems where VCs pour in money to really drive value into their base tokens. Most people choose to build on the Internet Computer because there's nothing else like it in terms of the technology and what you can do. And we're seeing rapid growth as people begin increasingly to understand its capabilities and what it makes possible. Currently, we have something called ICP hubs in more than 37 countries worldwide. And a lot of these hubs are growing very, very rapidly and acting as funnels that are bringing more and more developers into the ecosystem. And they're in large played a very important role in some of these recent stats you may have seen, where Electric Capital ranked us number 3 for new developers coming into the ecosystem this year. The growth strategy of the Internet Computer is really all about technology. We have a very long-term view. Ultimately, it's these capabilities that will draw in not just crypto developers, but mainstream developers. The Internet Computer is a blockchain of a kind. The software it runs on the network, on traditional blockchains, you can't even store a single phone photograph inside a smart contract. By comparison, smart contract software on the Internet Computer can maintain up to 500 gigabytes of memory pages right now. I think the biggest step change we're going to see in growth is going to result from AI. Not only can you run AI models on the Internet Computer, and there's been several demos this year, and this is a new paradigm, a self-writing internet paradigm where non-technical users can essentially talk to the network and have it create web applications and internet services for them. We think this is a completely new tech paradigm that's really going to turn the tech world on its head over the next few years. And we're predicting that by August the 1st next year, the Internet Computer will have had far more new developers building on the network. I wouldn't be surprised if it has more new developers building on the network than all other blockchains in existence. But that's a bold bet, and we'll have to see how it plays out. A prevailing view in the Web3 community is that adoption is all about tokens and speculation. And I think tokens and speculation play an enormously important role in bringing people into the Web3 ecosystem. But our view and interests are more fundamental. We believe that blockchain is the future everything stack, and in the future, most back-end systems will be running on a blockchain. And we just look for ways to accelerate that future. In the past, I've referred to it as blockchain singularity. And we think the key catalyst is AI. The Internet Computer has special technology that makes it very easy for AI to build solo, like a self-writing internet, which non-technical users can speak to and describe what they want, and the network produces it for them. So for example, if you're an individual user, you might say you want a personal branding website, or a wedding planner, or a game to share with friends. within a minute or even seconds of you describing that need and describing the features, you could refresh a URL and there it would be. The relationship would continue. So although the users wouldn't be writing code themselves, nonetheless, all of the software that was being generated according to their instructions would belong to them. And these web applications and internet services will be running on the internet computer where they're completely sovereign. We think it's this new paradigm that's going to mainstream Web3. In many ways, it doesn't make sense to compare the performance, efficiency, and scalability of the internet computer with blockchains like Ethereum, Solana, and Avalanche. We were going to completely, rethink and re-architect blockchain from first principles with the unwavering goal of delivering a real-world computer network. It's necessary to create smart contracts that can process HTTP and serve interactive web experiences directly to users. The internet computer remains the only network where that's possible. That in turn requires other innovations like reverse gas. So, with a blockchain like Solana or Ethereum, people manually create transactions using their wallets and pay for the computation at that time by configuring a gas payment. On the internet computer is charged with something called cycles and pays for its own computation. So, you could be interacting with a website in your browser and not realize that that's actually running on the internet computer and that every one of your interactions is potentially creating multiple transactions. The network has a very different architecture, lots of innovations. Generally speaking, it's using more sophisticated science and technology. And by way of comparison, it's processing more than 1 million Ethereum equivalent transactions a second. The total on-chain compute that it processes in an hour exceeds what the entire blockchain ecosystem processes in a year. So the differences are enormous. The internet computer incorporates something known as a chain key engine. And this means network resident software on the internet computer can directly interact trustlessly without a bridge with smart contracts and tokens on other blockchains. So the full world computer paradigm incorporates the totality of the internet computer and traditional blockchains. So a lot of people have been asking about AI running on the internet computer. By running AI models as smart contracts, you can get guaranteed security and incredible levels of resilience. There are lots and lots of applications for AI that's running on chain in the mode of smart contracts. What I've just talked about is inference, and that's what the internet computer currently supports and what we're focused on optimizing. Training actually is a different problem, and it's very, very hard to do in a decentralized way. Think about a large language model like Llama, which is trained by Meta, or even GPT, which is owned by OpenAI. Those models are trained with vast amounts of data in data centers where you have sometimes hundreds of thousands of GPUs that are connected in clusters, and they have to be in the same place. The internet computer is focused on making sure that inference can run on chain in a tamper-proof and unstoppable way as efficiently as possible. We've made huge progress on that this year. The first demo was image classification. The second demo was facial recognition. And between those two demos, we'd introduced things like simmed instructions and floating point optimization, speeded up inference 10 times. The next demo coming imminently is a small large language model running as a smart contract. That's being made possible by yet more important gains. So we think that not all AI models need to run on chain, but wherever security and resilience are important, AI models should be run on a world computer as a smart contract, and we think that has a tremendously bright and important future. So perhaps one of the greatest areas of excitement in the ICP ecosystem is around this idea of the self-writing internet ecosystem. The idea is that you'll talk to the network and describe what kind of web application or internet service you want, and a minute or so later, you can refresh a URL and there it will be. Not only that, you'll be able to continue talking to update the web application or internet service on that URL. There are two components to making this possible. On the one hand, you need to have a world computer that enables an AI to build in a way that's always secure. The other point is that, in this bold future, users are going to upgrade web applications and internet services at the speed of chat. That means every minute or two if they want. And behind that, there has to be a way for the data inside these web applications and internet services to get migrated, to get transformed between different versions of the code. And that has to happen in a way that's very efficient and also what we call loss safe. It can't be the case that the AI makes a mistake and some of this data gets lost. So these are things that the internet computer ecosystem is addressing. We have things, of course, working in prototype form, but actually with quite a high degree of maturity, and we're expecting in the new year that some of this stuff will be released and people can start playing with it. So 2025 is going to see a lot of exciting developments in internet computer protocol tech. For example, the recent Stellarator milestone actually halved the end-to-end latency that you experience when you submit a transaction, then finally get it finalized. Oftentimes that's running just below a second now. But the sort of big ticket items coming next year relate to AI. The ability to run large language models on the blockchain as a smart contract. The ability of AI to build on the internet computer completely solo in a safe and reliable way. And there's another project called Utopia, which I expect will get off the ground in the spring 25, which will allow corporations and governments who can't build on a public network to create their own private internet computers effectively, which just function as a new kind of serverless cloud computing platform, which comes with security and resilience guarantees, which can also integrate with the public internet computer. So one analogy is the internet computer is the internet, and these utopias will be intranets. Utopia is actually an acronym which is Unstoppable, Tamper-Proof, Open Platform for Independent Autonomy, which in a way is a description for a blockchain.